This house that we're about to review is probably one of the most bizarre houses that I've seen in a while. And it's a good example of a project that shows you that in architecture, sometimes anything goes. So if you're designing something and you're like, this doesn't look great or it's not making sense, well, we have projects like this to kind of pump us up a little bit. So, in case you weren't sure, a house of this magnitude and of this design language is obviously located in Dubai. It was designed by a group of architects called Studio VDGA. This house is from 2023 and it's a total of 4,000 square meters. For those of you guys that don't speak metric, it's about 43,000 square feet. And yes, I did do a jump cut because I had to Google that myself. Now, as usual, I want to take the time to go through each image, kind of blindly giving my thoughts and opinions on it, as I expect you guys to do in the comments later. And then once we're done with that, we'll see what the architect actually intended from a write-up from the actual architect at the end of the video. And now the moment that you've all been waiting for. This right here looks to me like a rendering. I'm almost 100% sure it's not a rendering. I haven't looked it up. I just, at first glance, I was like, yeah, that's a rendering. But then the more that I look at it, I'm like, this might be real. To be honest, I have no idea. I think it's the colors that are throwing me off. These kind of colors and the shapes and, these elements, these grills here, which I have no idea what they're supposed to be. I think that's what's making me think that this is a rendering, but let's assume that it's not. Right off the bat, there's no windows. The shape is extremely unique. I'm extremely interested in what I'm seeing so far, and I'm really excited to dive in to this project to see what else they've done. But I'm kind of confused as to what exactly we're looking at. It's possible that there's a series of courtyards inside. Well, this project is called the House of Courtyards. So that is probably the reason why there's no windows. It's because there's some sort of a privacy that's needed. Maybe there's some sort of like very important person or group of people that live here and they do not want to risk being exposed. And so that's why they have no windows whatsoever. But I'm extremely curious as to what these elements are. Maybe there's some sort of transparent mesh or something. Right here, this is amazing. This is such a beautiful shot. For a house, it's kind of depressing, to be honest with you. Just because if I lived in a house that had this right here, I'd feel, I don't know why, but I'd feel very lonely. This looks like something that you have as in order to reflect on life. You kind of just sit here, nobody bothers you, it's very quiet and it's extremely beautiful, but it's not something that I kind of appreciate as part of a home, but it is extremely beautiful nonetheless. It's just that like you look at this and you don't picture a party, you know what I'm saying? Like you picture solitude. Now, it's very interesting how this completely contrasts the exterior, and so I bet you are going to start to see a lot of that now, a lot of random shapes like this. So here's another courtyard. I don't know in relation to the other one that we just saw where this is at, if it's neighboring. It doesn't look like this has anything to do with it. But I mean, this is an incredibly beautiful shot. The color palette is magnificent. I don't know what the point of this body of water is. Is this like a lap pool or something? I have no idea what any of this is for, but the facade is extremely interesting. This offers solar shading as at the same time that allows you to have some sort of breezes if you need it. So it's really really very nice facade, and everything is composed well here so far. A little confused as to this shot. It's not really architectural, to be honest with you, or architectural at all. But we do see another courtyard, and it's there's a lot of like I don't know who would use this, to be honest with you. Like you're gonna step out here. Like the two other spaces were way more interesting than this. So I don't even know what the point of adding some door here. Maybe if there's a plan, we can take a look at it and see if there's any other program out there, because I mean, they didn't even add a walkway or anything, so it's not, inviting at all. It's just a door that leads to this tree. It's cool. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice light well, but really, it's kind of pointless. Here we are, another shot from the outside. We are starting to see some windows here. We see those elements again. It doesn't look like those are windows. They just look like design elements. And then, we have some openings there and there, some balconies. So these are probably the rooms. All right, I'm starting to get bored of this. This is another picture, more of the same. More of the same. More of the same. Yes, we get it. It's cool. Let's go inside. Again, yes. Wait. Oh, there it is. Yes, this is some sort of mesh. I don't know what material that is. But some of it is translucent. It's like a mesh, and then the others are solid. So this is cool. I like that. That's a really unique detail. And then, I mean, look at this. Come on, come on. That is extremely beautiful. This is open to the night sky. This is amazing. I don't understand the point of this arch here. These here seem to be that like you can access them, but then you get here. I feel like there should have been something there. Maybe there's a water feature that we don't see. If not, there should have been a water feature. Was this just to, continue this repetition, this arcade repetition here? If that's the case, I mean, it's a big missed opportunity. There could have been something else there, and perhaps they didn't want to take away from what's going on, in this shot, in this moment. But again, there's that solidarity, this man just contemplating life, contemplating the millions and billions of dollars that he has, and wondering of some decisions that he made to get to this position in life. But I mean, obviously, beside that minor complaint, this is extremely beautiful. I mean, look, this is magnificent. So this, I think that other shot that we were in, if we could just go back there real quick, I think this shot, yes. So this thing that we're looking at, this is connected to this shot. So we're a little bit more outside. So this does look like a pool. Okay, it's not a reflecting pond. There is depth to this. So this is a pool. I don't understand what's here except for a design element. I'll be honest with you. I think this makes an incredibly unique shot. And if this is a main circulation point where guests come over or where you walk through, it's extremely interesting to look at. But beside that, it offers nothing else. Like, this is art. This is basically art. You're walking by, you see the reflection, you see the full circle, but there's nothing there. That's the only thing that bugs me, to be honest with you. Like, sometimes I appreciate things like this. Like, if I walked here, I would be extremely amazed for about 5 seconds, and then I'd be like, well, what's next? What do you do? There's nothing there. So that's my only problem with a space like this, but it's magnificent. Like, what do you want me to tell you? This, moments like this as you're walking by the project, it's cool because the project, from what I see, is like a little gift box, right? And it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a maze of architectural goodies. And I appreciate that so much from the point of view of experiencing this kind of project for the first time. The problem with a project like this, for me, is that sometimes you bite into a chocolate that is filled with nasty orange taffy and you were not expecting that, and then now your day is ruined. And what I'm trying to say here is that not every spot of this eclectic architectural masterpiece is going to be enjoyable. There's going to be a lot of fun moments, but after a while it's going to get old, it's going to get repetitive, because there's no, at least from what I'm seeing, remember that it's very limited. I'm very limited here. But at least from what I'm seeing, it's kind of like these random moments, right? Like a puzzle of random moments. And then how long before it gets old? That's all I'm questioning. Moments like this, extremely powerful. So we finally have an answer as to what the purpose of this is. It seems to be ceremonial. In that case, then I was wrong of what I said before. There is purpose. If it's ceremonial, then that's the reason why. If it's not ceremonial, if they just did this for the shot, then I stand with my original opinion. Hopefully they wrote something about this, because this is extremely impressive, and the symmetry makes it so much more beautiful on both axes. More of this stuff, like, okay, sure. Yeah, we've seen this before, nothing crazy here. This is a nice detail. The cool thing about it is that this wall, which seems to have no purpose, matches in these fins over here, but it's just a different material. So I thought that was nice. It's like a giant piece of art. Here we continue this facade going through the wall. Very nice. And this is actually the space that we were looking at. So there's a fountain. Okay, so maybe the point of this is for ventilation, right? For air circulation. Maybe that's the only reason why they have this. It's just to, allow fresh air to come in. And there is a fountain, so maybe there's some maintenance involved there. But beside that, no seating, nothing. Looks like they want us to keep out of there unless we absolutely need to. Interiors, what do you say about the interiors? Not much. It just looks like they took all these beautiful moments that are happening on the exterior, and they stuck over them, and they put wood veneer panels over them, like almost like ignoring what's happening on the outside, which I get. We have homes. We don't always want what's happening on the outside to happen on the inside, but the only reason that I feel kind of depressed is because you see what's happening on the outside and it's so crazy. And you see some of these moments with the other courtyards happening and they're so crazy. And then you do something like this, which looks like a house that could belong anywhere. Where are my arches? Where are my half circles? Why am I seeing this courtyard through these little tiny windows? Why isn't it something much more extravagant? It could be the program of this room doesn't call for that, but still, it's just, I don't know. Why? More of the same. Nothing here. More of the same. Dude, come on. Come on. Look at this. Come on. Do you imagine walking into this? I'm gonna go take a bath, and then you walk into this. It's like, come on, this is gorgeous. This is obviously not the guest bathroom, obviously. I don't think I had to say that, but there's really nothing to say here. I mean, come on. This is extremely beautiful. Spaces like this are nice, but again, same comment that I said before. There's really nothing that references anything else in the project here. Moments like this, same, it's very nice, but I really have nothing to say anything about that. It's always the rails. They always mess these projects up with the rails. And perhaps some of you enjoy the rail, but I just think, like, why? It just looks so cheap. Why would they use these rails? I've seen to always mention that in these projects. Rooms are nice. This is all interior design, which is why I have no comment, because interior design is interior design. I mean, there's 4,000 ways to do it, and this is one of the 4,000 ways, and it's fine. That's it. Like, what do you want me to say? It's fine. It's there. Cool. Awesome. Another courtyard. I don't think we've seen this courtyard yet. And then that seems to be a scupper, but I don't see there's like a little tiny hole, but what? Oh, it's not a scupper. It's like a little fountain. That's what it is. I thought it was a scupper. I was like, why are we draining water? Oh, there's water there. That's why. A nice night shot. From this angle, I'm starting to see some other little details, and I really appreciate it. Here's a plan. Oh God, this is gonna be scary, because this is a gigantic project. So let's see here. We have parking, lobby, lounge, auxiliary services. Home theater is number 6. Where's number 6? Number 6. I thought it was going to be this one. That's still 5. 6. This is the home theater. And then we have servers room, swimming pool, jacuzzi, sit out, pantry, and toilet. Pantry is 15. I'm just curious to see if it's like a gigantic room. I don't even see it. No, it's not. I'm sorry. No, it's not 15. It's 11. Oh, a little pantry. Okay. I don't want to talk about this floor plan. I don't even want to talk about this one. Okay. So why do I say that? Okay. Projects like these are mega homes, right? My problem with these gigantic homes is that there's no organization in these projects. Everything is scattered about. There's no rhyme or reason always as to why things were done. I mean, think about it. You're kind of like cheating. You have all this space and you can do whatever you want with the space. There's nothing holding you back as to what you're doing and why. So perhaps there are some like restraints, or not restraints, but constraints. Perhaps there's some constraints in some of these moments. But beside that, it's just, it's a soup of rooms. That's all this is, a soup of rooms. I'm not saying that there's not beautiful moments, but I'm just saying that it's not packaged. It's just scattered all throughout, and anybody can do this. That probably sounds so messed up. I don't mean anybody can do this in the sense that this doesn't take skill. I mean that anybody can just say like, I want that here, right? There doesn't seem to be any constraints that are forcing you to think out of the box in this floor plan. So when I look at plans like this, it's really hard to appreciate. You know, there's just way too much going on. This is more, let me tell you, let me put it like this. This is more of a project that is experienced in person or through photographs or in perspective, but not in plan, right? So we have a section that I just noticed here. The section is somewhat interesting. Like, actually, this here is really freaking cool. It's like a cantilever. I mean, it looks cantilever here, but maybe there's a wall like on this part or something. But it's like a room within a room. So you can definitely appreciate this in like this 3D section or AXO or ISO. I hope they have that. But in plan, it's just kind of messy. So let's see here. We have a pool. We have that. This is that circle that we keep seeing. And then I'm not seeing anything else. I don't know what this is. Probably like just a raised garden. But I mean, this is honestly awesome. I think this is so cool. And then this is just a window here. There's so much going on in this project. It's like impossible to break it down. You know, you'd have to have a conversation with the architects and talk about the challenges they face. But this is just a humongous project. My only complaint for these sections, you know, it could be that the project does work in this way. But if you look at like the shots, every shot, like every space has nothing to do with the next space. Like they're all segmented to each other, right? But then you look at this one section here and you notice how many like interlocking spaces there are, and it just kind of sucks, at least from what I can see, that there's no like these spaces don't communicate with each other. Like why, you know, if there would have been some sort of walkway over here and then maybe like some windows where now you can see down here, or like this might be a walkway to be honest with you, but it reads like a garden. They should have put like some people, like some little scalies, so that I could see like how these spaces are being used. But you know, you look at everything and it's like everything's so segmented from everything else. Everything's so like private and tucked away. And like, why? You have this project where like you're putting spaces within other spaces and you're doing stuff like that, but yet there's no connection. There's no like void. Like, why can't I have something that allows me to see up the pool here? Or maybe this walkway has like I don't know, or over here this courtyard, maybe like where the tree is, there could have been like a hole there where I can now see the lounge. You know, like, you know, you're cutting the rooms out, but you're not cutting the voids out. So that was another missed opportunity for this project. And again, it might exist, but I'm not seeing that anywhere here. Like, look, this area here, this pool, there's no connection to the spaces above, and everything just like this. You know, you have this room here and you know everything's locked away. Now, some interesting things that I've been reading about this project. It says that this project actually, because it was in Dubai, one of the challenges that they faced were finding a language, an architectural language that the city was like, dude, yes, let's do that. Apparently, there was like a lot of ideas, but a lot of it got scrapped. So this is what won. This is what survived. And so the design actually comes from, it's a combination of principles of Vastu, which Vastu is it's Indian architectural guidelines and the contextual relevance of the project. So let's see what else it says here. It says balancing the space planning while creating hiatuses of visually pleasing architectural elements was always considered while designing. So basically that was the idea. There was like program, but they didn't want the program to be boring. They wanted to have like moments of architectural moments basically within the program. I'm going to read this line here just because it's something I'm not familiar with. It says massing in the elevations enables the self-shading of the structures while forming overwhelming sciography patterns. I'm not familiar with what sciography means, but it says sun path, summer, and winter solstice were elaborately studied to create climatically conductive environments. The courtyards remain shaded when the sun is the harshest, allowing one to freely use them across all seasons. So the idea is that the design comes from the climate. The reason that it looks like this is because they wanted the users to be able to use the spaces the whole year, no matter the weather, no matter how cold, no matter how hot. It says fenestrations also follow the principles of climatology, with the south facade devoid of any large openings and the north, east, and the west being fairly open. It says that the high turrets are introduced intermittently, and they're there. The basically these tall, like whenever you see anything tall, they're basically there to capture light for the interior spaces, because since this project is so big, then it has a hard time lighting some of the spaces. So that's why they have these like large towers. This is actually interesting. So the outside, the color palette and the material palette was inspired by desert mud plaster, like that look. And then the reason that they use corten steel everywhere, like on the interior and the exterior, is apparently because the screens cut off the direct heat radiation yet facilitate the flow of breeze. So that's why you have those fins there. It's not just for looks. It's actually because it allows the heat to stick to it, basically, so that the breezes that go on are cooler. And then it says that this house is all about overpowering color and texture of adobe and its combination with the hues of olives. All the courtyards, apparently everything, all the courtyards, pathways, everything was made from a single type of hand chiseled natural sandstone from the deserts of Rajasthan in India. Water features are kept natural. Ground cover in off-white crushed stone adds to our landscape palette. Natural rocks are used abundantly in the landscape areas. Okay, so that's not important. So overall, this is like a really freaking cool project. It's like, this is like what happens when you have Minecraft money, meaning you don't have to think about anything. You can just build as your heart pleases, because there's really no constraints except for gravity. That's pretty much the only thing here. But it is an extremely unique project. It's not my favorite type of project just because of the scale. It's too big and there's too much going on. But it is cool nonetheless. Lots of cool stuff. And here's to see what you guys think down in the comments. Talk to you guys soon.